Olá, Kitty! Vamos abrir a caixa? Hey you guys! Welcome to our Hiprecy YouTube channel. Today we will show you a brand new 3D printer that was just released to the market. It's the Hiprecy Leo. They announce very nice specs such as TMC drivers with sensorless homing, auto left sensor, magnetic print surface, BMG extruder, and a lot more. But now, check all the details with Rui.
Hey you guys! First, let's start by checking what's inside the box. And the first thing we see is a PEI print surface. Next, we have the bottom and upper half of the printer. Both are linked by cable, so you need to remove them both at the same time carefully. Next, we have 1 kilogram of PLA filament and the touch screen. This is a 4.3-inch color touch screen, which includes the memory card reader at the back side. Then there is the power cord, and a bag with lots of stuff inside. Inside that bag, we can find some Allen keys. These are the good long ones with round tip, some tweezers, a bag with small screws, and a bag with big long screws, zip ties, a memory card reader, a memory card, and a USB cable and a needle to unclog the nozzle. And finally, we have the spool holder. And this is all that was inside the box. Before starting with the assembly, and as usual, let's open the electronics panel and check what's inside. To open the panel, we need to unscrew the bottom 7 screws. Inside, we have the main board. It's the FISEC F6 board equipped with 4 2130 TMC drivers. To cool down the drivers, we have this small cooling fan. The cables are on the way between the drivers and the fan, but we need to test and see if the cooling is effective. The power supply is a 24 volt and 14.6 amps, and it's a Minwell, which is a very good power supply. At the side of the printer, we have a small panel with the power plug, the on and off switch, and USB connection. The cables inside are all very well arranged. On the power supply side, all the connections are crimped, but on the board side, only the heat bed output wires are crimped. The good news is that the tips of the wires don't have any solder on them, so it's not as bad as it looks. We could leave them like this, but we prefer to crimp ferrules on them instead. The Y carriage moves on wheels and on a couple of 20 by 20 metal profiles that are far from each other. This will make the carriage more stable. The print surface is magnetic, and under it we have the 24 volt heat bed. And under the heat bed we can see the Y carriage. This carriage is made from 5 mm thick metal and runs on 8 wheels. Moving the carriage for the first time, we could feel notches on the wheels. These notches are created when the grip of the wheels is too tight. Loosening the inner wheels a little bit fixed the issue. The announced print volume is 230 by 220 by 260 millimeters. The bed also includes a strain relief to protect the solder joints. Now to assemble the top half of the printer. The bottom half has 4 holes that are used to secure the top half. For this, we need to use the longer screws. These are inserted from the bottom. Next, get a square tool and measure the distance between the vertical profiles at the bottom and at the top. Make sure you have the same distance. You can adjust the vertical profiles at the bottom. There are 4 screws at the top that you can loosen and adjust as well, but these don't give as much adjustment as the bottom ones do. Next, get the display and connect the cable located at the front of the printer. And then secure the display with the remaining M3 screws. Check if the display is forcing down. If it is, you can remove the display and bend upwards the display metal supports a little bit. Last but not least is the spool holder. Install the tube first, and then install the spool holder on the top of the frame. At the back side, remove the tape that holds both Z motor cables and connect them to the motors. And the assembly is now complete. This is how the printer looks like after the assembly. As we mentioned before, the print surface is magnetic. The bottom side of this print surface is smooth and can also be used for printing. However, if you want to use this side, you need to glue the PEI sheet. There are a few things we need to check and adjust first. In this printer, the belt tension adjustment in the x-axis is done in this belt tensioner. For the y-axis, we have to loosen the Y motor screws to adjust the belt. As for the wheels, we need to check the grip on all of them. For the ones on the Y carriage, all the outer wheels have eccentric nuts that we can turn to adjust the grip. For the X carriage, we have one adjustable wheel at the bottom of the carriage. And for the Z carriages, we only have one adjustable wheel on each carriage. In our opinion, for the Z carriages, it would be better to replace the spacer with a second eccentric nut, because that way the adjustable wheel will always be parallel with the vertical profile. We don't have any springs or leveling knobs on the bed. The bed is fixed, and we have a leveling sensor that will do that job for us. The print head is equipped with an E3D hot end and sock on a heat block and a dual gear extruder, mounted as TrackTribe with a pancake stepper motor. Everything is mounted on a small support and looks somewhat fragile, so we need to check if this will have any impact on the prints later on. As on the inside, all the cables outside are well arranged. Now, let's connect the power plug and turn on the printer. The user interface on this printer looks very intuitive and filled with usable options. In the Temp tab, we have all the preheat choices for PLA, ABS, PETG, and Flex. We also have a custom preheat option where we can type in our temperatures and the cool down button. In the Utilities tab, we have the load and unload buttons. For the unload, we actually don't use this unload option because it retracts the filament at a very low speed. This would work much better with a higher retraction speed. Next, we have the Z-axis offset, where we edit the offset value. We also have the first layer calculate button. This is basically a setup to find the best first layer offset value. The printer will print a pattern, and with it, we can check and adjust the offset value. This is the same method that Prusa uses on his printers. Next, we have the manual filament button. In here, we can retract or extrude. One thing that is missing in this menu is a way to choose the amount of filament to retract or extrude. In the Move Axis menu, we can move each axis in 0.1, 1, 10, or 100 steps. We can also home each or all axes and disengage the motors. Then, we have the Calibrate Z-axis button. This will level the X gantry, and the way it does that is it moves the Z all the way up until each Z carriage hits the top bearings. And using the crash detection from the TMCs, it levels the gantry. And the last one is PID calibration. It's a nice thing they included this feature here on the menu. This way, we don't need to connect a computer to do this. And in the Settings tab, we have the motor steps per millimeter, where we can edit the steps per millimeter for each axis. The PID setting, where we can check and edit the PID values for both hot end and bed. Hitting Accept on any menu will save the changes automatically to the EEPROM. Next, we have the Load settings and Store settings, and Factory Reset buttons. We also have a manual button that shows a QR code link. The system information should give some additional information, but our printer is not showing any. One more thing that might be useful is that on the main screen and at any time, we can control each layer cooling fan separately. Now, we are ready to load the filament and start the tests. To load the filament, just place the filament on the spool holder and insert the filament in the small PTFE tube located on top of the extruder. Then, go to Utilities, press the Load Filament button, and then choose which filament type you are using. The printer will heat up, and then it will extrude some filament. Before starting your first print, you should run the Calibrate Z-axis and then the first layer calculate, both in the Utilities menu. This printer does not have any end stops installed. For the X and Y axis, it is using the sensorless homing feature of the TMC drivers, and for the Z, we have the leveling sensor. One option that we love and use very often but rarely is available with TFT displays is the Baby Steps feature. This printer includes this feature, and it's available when pressing the Settings button on the right in the main menu. When making the slicer profile, we can include the G29 command. The printer will then create a mesh using 16 points before starting the print. We are currently testing this printer, and soon we will have a second video where we will share all the prints done with this printer and also all the information that we will find. So, if you are not a subscriber yet, click on subscribe and don't miss our next videos. If you like our work and wish to help the channel, you can with the affiliate links posted in the video description with Patreon or PayPal. Keep following us here on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. We will see you guys next time. Bye!